Good morning, boys and girls. TMD live as always. Welcome to a beautiful day today in Japan. Kids are screaming, flowers are out. TMD's on a mission as per usual. Actually guys, I filmed yesterday, but as per usual I didn't have my battery charged. But to show you guys some better image quality of like where I live. It's a beautiful day, no cloud in the skies. This is my wife's mum's friend that lives here. They have a business, a Japanese farm. There's the dog, half asleep. It's a big fucking dog, is that? I wouldn't want to be a burglar, put it that way. Cabbage is growing. So some of you guys probably think that I live in the city kind of thing, and that I'm stuck in the concrete jungle, so to speak. But actually I'm quite lucky. As you can see, I live very close to farming areas, which is great. It reminds me of being back home in the UK. It's kind of mix of just like suburban with farming land. And you can see, you can't really see it, but over there where my finger is the Tokyo Sky Tree. And if you look that way, you can actually see Mount Fuji. As winter approaches, there's something to do with the atmosphere. Basically gives a clearer view of the Mount Fuji. So if you don't know what Fuji is, it's the biggest mountain in Japan, and you can see it really close. It's actually very, very far away. By car it's about a 5 to 6 hour drive, but it's so big that you can see it in most areas in Japan. Obviously not all of Japan, but in the main island. This is leeks. Leeks are very popular out here, and you can actually eat these fucking things raw. And they are, if they're grown organically like what this guy does. By the way, this farmer here actually produces organic vegetables and fruit for our supermarket, and it's so good. And over there is the elementary school that my kids will be going to, maybe in around, what, how old's May? May's 4. It's about 11, it's 6 years. Or maybe before that actually. And as you can see, it's a very peaceful and relaxing time of the morning. In summertime, during the COVID situation, I was actually heading out over that way doing photography. So I did quite a lot of walking during the summer, and it helped me get my mind together and shit like that, you know. So where I live, it's yeah, it's really good. It's a bit of mixtures of like country with like suburban housing. But thanks guys, man. It's since I first uploaded my first kind of comeback video with the Japanese bread things, I've noticed a few people have been making comments, like Tiger, Nick, TY, all those guys, Anthony, Icebox, and a few of the guys that are Raf as well, all those guys, Jibu as well, and yeah, it's been pretty cool, man, to get all these responses, and people are slowly gathering interest with my channel, and just having to listen to what I have to say about modern living in Japan. Now, I think it was Nick sent me a message yesterday talking about how I started in modeling. Very good question. And before I do that, I'll show you what Japanese, I don't know if this is yuzu or kind of mikan, but it's hard to explain. It's like a cross between a grapefruit and an orange and a lemon. Japan has a lot of these citrus fruits that are specifically grown in Japan, that you can't get anywhere else. This restaurant is actually this is actually a restaurant, by the way. They've got these pear things as well. I don't know what that is, to be honest. I honestly don't know. But in this place, they serve amazing food. Some of the best chashu. They do actually do a good Korean rice. I'll have to do a video in here. I haven't been here for a long time. But yeah, getting back into the whole modeling thing. So how did it all start for me, man? Good question. So when I was younger, where I lived in England, there used to be like an arts and crafts shop. It sold like, you know, like knitting, wool, sewing materials, like the cross stitch stuff. They had loads of stuff. I think the shop is called Beachcomber. I don't know if it's still around anymore, but when I was a kid, I remember seeing those Airfix boxes, and I think my first ever kit that I built was maybe like I think it was a Spitfire. And then I got I think it was a F4J Phantom. And obviously, you know, back then in England we had like a Humbrol, sorry. And obviously I made a complete mess of it. But yeah, it was some good memories, like good experiences of getting into model kits. And I don't think I even had like, I can't even remember how I actually de-sprued the kits. I probably didn't even use a cutter or anything. I can't remember. And then after that, when I got a little bit older, my dad for my birthday got me he got me, I think it was, yeah, it was an F1 B Williams F1 car. And he also got me I think it was a Porsche. It wasn't a Carrera. but he gave me some file sets and stuff like that, and some basic tooling. And I remember building it. It was extremely difficult, and obviously I didn't have any paints. And again, it was just like a crazy build, glue everywhere and all that stuff. And actually, my dad died like 6 years ago, and I actually rebought the kit that he first gave me, which is the F1 Williams Renault car. So I'm going to definitely do a rebuild on that. Big shout going out to Robin Witz out on FB, because he's encouraging me to get on with the build. Like, Robin's an amazing builder. He does a lot of bike kits and F1 kits. So I've been encouraged to do that, so I will be getting on with that job at one point. And then slowly after that, kids at my school were bringing in Citadel miniatures, and everybody was like, what the hell is this? And they were like the original Games Workshop's Citadel miniature stuff, which was actually, thinking about it now, back then I think you could get like a blister pack. I think it was like £5, which back then was actually quite expensive. So I got a few of those. I didn't paint them at the time, but then it came to my my birthday, and I think my mum bought me the Blood Angel Terminator Death Squad, which I still have. And that kind of like snowballed everything. Like, I managed to get some paints as well. I got back then it was like, I thought, what do you call them now? It was a Citadel colour basic set with the Golden Demon. By the way, I have to say, like, the original Games Workshop packaging designs were really cool shit back then. And then I got into like Warhammer 40k, and I got into Warhammer, started doing bits and pieces. And then obviously I got to my teens and just got bored of it. I discovered women, and I discovered alcohol and other things, and it just basically dropped off. I didn't really build anything, so I just took a massive break from it all. And I was at university then doing an illustration course, and there's a guy that had this like plastic robot kit on his TV, fellow uni person. I'm like, what the fuck's that? And I thought it was like some weird transformer thing, and he's like, oh, this is Gundam. Ah, okay. And I looked at it and I was like, oh wow, this is really cool. Like, you can snap fit it, it's got some articulation, you can do stuff with it. I was like, where did you buy it? He was like, oh, you can buy them from Toys R Us. So back then, Toys R Us used to have a deal with Bandai, and obviously the resurgence of Gundam Wing, which was televised out in the US. In the UK, they had most of the model kits, so that's how I really got into the whole Japanese thing. And actually, when I was at university, my dad gave me my first airbrush. It was a Pash single action with an old compressor that he had. And I was actually starting out just doing actual airbrush freehand on my illustrations. So I was lucky enough to you know, have that preset skill of airbrushing, so to speak. So then it's kind of funny at the time because I was actually using the Citadel paints. I'm gonna get run over here. I was using Citadel paints to do my business. I shouldn't really do this because I'm crossing I'm jaywalking, so to speak. And I noticed that when I was doing these Gundam kits that I couldn't work out how to, or how did they do those panel lines. Like, I didn't have any information back then whatsoever on how to build these Gundam kits. And obviously now I know how to do it, but you know, but there were a few methods that I didn't actually I didn't really know about, like using mechanical pencils or using black fine liners. So then I got into it a little bit more, and I was buying stuff off eBay back then. And then I moved to Japan. That's where things changed, man. Because I knew nothing about like Macross, Robotech. I didn't really know much about Japanese model kits. And then and I moved to Japan, and I remember my first time that I walked into a modeling shop. I was just like insanely blown away by it, because of all the equipment that you could buy and all the model kits that you could buy. I was just like very overwhelmed by it. So I basically had to restart my whole entire collection of modeling equipment. That was airbrush, paints, glue, all that stuff. And I started from the beginning, so to speak. And when I restarted, I was just building kits like one by one. And yeah, I can't really explain to you guys what it's like when you come here and you see all of this kind of model kit scene, because it's just insane, man. It's insanely overwhelming, because there's just so much stuff, you know. After that, and this is going to the latter end of my breakup with my ex-wife. She used to basically complain to me about the smell, about, you know, the fumes and stuff, which I understand, but I actually had my own room. It wasn't like I was doing it in one room, so to speak. And she was getting pissy with it. I used to go in the man cave quite a lot because I didn't want to talk to her. She was really annoying me. She was just salty all the time and just being a general bitch, man. I was like, fuck you, this is my hobby. And if you don't like it, well, you know where the door is. And maybe you guys can maybe relate to me, you know. Sometimes some women, they don't like seeing men being in a room, being isolated, doing something they really are passionate about and something that they really enjoy. It gives self-gratification and stuff like that. And women, unfortunately, sometimes get really fucking jealous about it, which is really sad. Now, the difference between my ex-wife and my current wife was that, you know, when I showed Yukari what I was doing, she's like, oh, this is so cool. You do bundles. It's awesome. So my wife is super cool like that, you know. This is a Japanese park. This is where we have like the summer festivals. That guy's doing Tai Chi there. I might have to film in a minute. So when I actually moved out and found my own apartment, it was a long break. Okay, so when I moved back to my old apartment, I think it was a good few years, maybe like 2 or 3 years, I was back off the modeling stuff. It was only till I met you, Carrie, that I started again, because these old mansion blocks, because like she encouraged me to do it, you know. She encouraged me to get back into the hobby, which any partner, either it be a man or a woman, should encourage their spouses to get into something. You know, if you, Caddy, wants to do a yoga, I'm all for it, man, you know. If she wants to do a ride on a bike again, do it, man. I never stop her from doing things that she wants to do, and that's what I think keeps a relationship happy, you know. So as I got back into modeling, I had a friend that was doing like proxy buying, and he was telling me about it and stuff like that, and I thought, fuck it, man, I could do that. And that's how I basically started my own little business. And I basically printed out some business cards. I went to these modeling events because I was looking to... There's an elephant there. I was looking to find a supplier. So it's kind of difficult to find a supplier out here unless you know certain people. So the only way that I could basically find information on how to get wholesale was I went to a Japanese trade show called the All Japan Hobby Show. So yeah, basically I managed to get a wholesale deal. Tamiya were really cool. Like, I contacted many companies: Hasegawa, Kotobukiya, Oshima, and maybe there's a lot more, especially like Krios. But really, the main company that really got back to me was Tamiya, because Tamiya, and I didn't know this, they actually sponsor the whole event. So like Tamiya have like the biggest stall there, and those were the guys that emailed me like literally the next day, and they gave me contact information on suppliers that were in Tokyo, and it all started from there, so to speak. I was once told that, you know, I was warned about, like, Darren, you know, you're gonna get into this business and you're gonna probably end up hating model kits. And I was like, no, man, you know, I love modeling and I love seeing new kits and being part of the whole industry. But do you know what? There's been times where I thought, fuck this, I'm gonna stop selling. I'm gonna just jack it all in. But the issue is that I've invested so much money with tooling, mainly in airbrushes, which are the highest cost. And you know, I'm not gonna give up. It's just that I'm having a long break from it. This year has been really weird. And I could get into some details about the whole COVID situation. Is the fact that many of my customers have been really cool and been really patient, because at the moment I'm having big problems trying to ship out people's orders, because they're not going to be using the airmail service. And people have been waiting. This has been ongoing since April. It's like 8 months now. And unfortunately for you Americans, I don't know what the fuck's going on. But just recently, Japan Post have changed their regulations. They're now doing what's called small airmail, which basically it's about the size, it's smaller than a shoebox, put it that way. And because of the orders that I have right now, unfortunately I can't ship that size out. The other problem is that and this is a crazy story, is that last week or the week before I actually found out the news that the shipping was back on. The woman at the post office confirmed it. She took my mail, and then what happened was one of my customers, big shout going out to you, Mike Hoffman, mailed me and said, oh Darren, have you checked the tracking? And I'm like, no, what's up? He's like, oh, it looks like it's been returned to you. I was like, you're joking. Anyway, it basically, the woman at the counter messed up big time, and all my parcels came. Some of the parcels were in like little white jiffy bags, which is like the size of a DVD. They also came back, and I'm like, well, I kind of understand why the bigger parcels came back, but why these small ones? And the issue was, wait for it, is that they were not accepting anything that was tracked. So basically, the only way that I can ship those items is to have the items untrackable. Like, do you seriously think I'm gonna send mail to the US that's gonna be untracked? It gets lost, I lose fucking money. It's so ridiculous, man. It's really hard for me at the moment. I know that and other businesses. Ridiculous. And now this isn't a problem with Japan Post. This is the problem with the American, and them not having commercial airlines come out here in Japan and accept certain shipping classes, which is it's basically a logistical nightmare. I can't explain it to you. To get on to another topic about my modeling, is basically I only really paint in winter time, because of the humidity here is insane. I can't, you know, paint kits in the summer. One is my compressor, the airline, even with a moisture trap, just gets filled. I don't have a dehumidifier in my house because they're too expensive to own. So it's mainly, for me, it's more of a winter time thing, autumn, spring, when I model. And that's it, man. But like I said, and I'm gonna leave this as the last comment on this video, is that since I started these new videos about my life in Japan, is that basically I've lost a few subscribers, nothing crazy, like maybe 6-7 people, and it's like, okay, fair enough, man. I'm not doing like model kit builds, I'm not doing unboxings and stuff, which I will be doing soon, but you know, I just needed a break from it all, guys. And like I said, this channel is not about just model kits all the time, and I think all fair play to people that can just make videos and make specific things about their video, like it's just modeling related, which is fine. I have no issue with that, but for me it just gets boring, man. It just gets so boring. It's like, you know, there's a few people that have mailed me and I've like helped them out with stuff, information, and this is what all these blogs are about. And it's a revolution now, you know. Things are changing in the world. We've got the pandemic, we've got all this COVID mad shit, so I just want to talk about it and be one of those people out there, one of these YouTubers that are going to be fucking exposing shit, talking about stuff, what's going down, day-to-day life. Like I said, I'm on a rampage with these videos. I'm trying to do one a day at least. I've been doing the sums, man. If I can get like 25 to 30 videos knocked out a month, times that by 12, do the math, and I'll have a good channel to like base something on. So I'm gonna love you and leave you guys anyway. So thanks for watching. Big shout out to the guys, and I hope Nick crack on with those videos, bro.